Hello, people. It's been a while since I've put out an episode of the Hypno Lion's Roar. I was on vacation, road trip, if you will. It was an interesting time, but I'm back. Maybe I'll delve into it at a later date. But right now, there's some things that I want to share with you. I've come across, and I want to present them to you. We're going to be talking about negativity today. Uh, I've had a rash of clients, I guess, that have come to me under one banner of of what their issues are, and it became very clear very quickly that these people are dealing with being negative. And in talking to them about being negative, it's something that I wanted to explore and present to you guys, my audience. Negativity is a very interesting thing. It it's one of those things where you can fall into a trap real quickly on being negative. And there's a thing with being negative that that is that people have to realize. Okay, you were not born being negative. You're born with two things when you come into this world, as far as I know. And those are two fears: the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. Everything else that we're exposed to and everything that we evolve into based on how we're raised, our surrounding, our environment, our caregivers, our friends, is all learned. And sometimes the things that we learn they're good things, and sometimes they're bad things. And if more times than not, they tend to be bad things because we allow them, because we don't have the right guidance, the right attitude, present, and all that. And then all of a sudden, you get to the point to where where you're negative, that you end up blaming other people for things in your life, the things that go wrong, the things that you're not happy with, the person that you are. Well, it's because of this person. It's because of my mom or my dad, the way I was raised, whatever it is. And it crosses the social economic scale. Uh, because negative patterns are drilled into us by people and circumstance. It's a gentle, a very, it's a process that happens a little bit by a little bit. People train us, and you train other people around you on how you train other people and how they're going to treat you. You train other people how they speak to you. And you may ask, well, how do I do that? Well, it's what you allow. But that's something that we'll delve in maybe at a later time. But I want you to think about that critical negative voice that you have inside of you, that we all have inside of ourselves. That voice is always talking to us. It's telling us that you're never good enough, or you can't be that, or it always happens to you, or you're a failure because. And that's self-talk. And that self-talk can keep you bound in ways that you just do not realize, or you maybe not even recognize. Uh, but that little voice in you is that negative voice. I want you to imagine, and I've brought this up in prior podcasts. I want you to picture or imagine, if you will, on one shoulder being a little devil and the other shoulder being the angel, and they're going back and forth, and they're both whispering to you. And it's the one that you end up listening to more that influences you, that you allow. Uh, but no one is born negative. I mean, we've all seen negative as children growing up. I can remember quite vividly of different negative experiences that I had as a child, in a lot of different ways. Okay. Uh, but children, when children are born, when we're children, we're a bundle of energy. We're a blank canvas waiting to be for the next masterpiece to be painted upon us, or waiting for our canvas to be royally screwed up by our caregivers or the circumstance that we live in. We have an imagination, we have fun, but make no mistake about it, we're being trained. And there's nothing that you can do about that. As a child, you are where you're at, you're going through what you go through, and you're going to experience what you experience. But hopefully when we get older, to where we're in control of our own destiny, that we can take ourselves and we can grab a hold of that negativity, and we can actually recognize that we're being negative. Uh, and that's the biggest challenge, is recognizing in your own way that you're negative. And you may not like hearing that. You may not like people telling you you're just a negative individual, and you'll argue with them trying to justify why you're not a negative person. But in the quietness of your own mind and by yourself, maybe if you reflect on yourselves, that you'll come to the conclusion that you're freaking negative. And it does not serve you well to move you forward in life. But recognizing that you're negative is just a small part of that pie. Once you recognize that, is okay, what do I do next? It's like the dog that chases the car. Every time the car runs down the road, the dog chases it. And one day the car stops and the dog catches the car. He's got the car. Now what does he do with it? Doesn't know. He hadn't thought that far. He was in it for the chase. But once you acknowledge and realize that you're negative, now what? What do you do? What do you do with that car once you catch it? And there's things that you can do, but you have to take action on it. You have to be willing to put yourself, your ego, and everything to the side and say, you know, here's my canvas. Paint over my canvas and and give me a better picture, a better painting that I can go forward with, that I can be proud of. Be proud of the person that you become, to be proud of the person that you want to be proud, to have your family be proud of the person that you are. It's all up to you, because no one can force you to not be negative. You don't know everything. You're not right majority of the time. So what? Deal with it and move on. But you're going to have to deal with your negativity. Do not let it hold you hostage to where you're at. That's not what life is about. There are several ways to overcome negativity or being negative. Um, Maybe when you've looked back on your life, there's been several times where you've become your own worst enemy. You've gotten in the way of your own success. Perhaps you've told yourself that you're not going to go for a job or to study a certain subject because you're not good at it. Because you were told years ago that you're just not good in that subject. And somebody sold you a bill of bullshit and you bought into it. Sound familiar? You might have gone to a party, you might not have gone to a party, or because of the negative inner voice that said that the girl or the guy that you were interested in was just being polite and that they really had no interest in you. But you may have had a connection with somebody, but wormed away because you couldn't ask for their number. Ever had that happen? Imagine how different your life would be if you'd always tried, instead of always thinking the worst, to put yourself out there, to go towards what makes you uncomfortable. If you'd gone after everything within your reach and taking those opportunities, instead of imagining what could go wrong or how you would feel, embarrassment, being put on the spot. A lot of people have adopted this saying of that which does not kill you will make you stronger. In many ways, it's true. But we have to want to go forward. Negativity is infectious. Negativity can destroy a company with one person, one bad apple, spreading the negativity to others and infecting them like a cold or the flu running rampant through everyone that comes in contact with them. We don't have the right. You don't have the right to impact other people that way. Shame on you if you do that. In the old days, somebody would take you out in the back alley and punch you in the freaking nose. If you were a man, of course. The hidden cost of in negativity, there is a cost to it. You have to discover what it is. It's only for you to discover, though. So, how can you overcome negativity? It's something that I deal with people, other clients, a lot, and telling them, look, you are worthy. You are a unique individual. You're unlike any other person in this world. But sometimes they either don't want to believe it, or they won't believe it, or they have no interest in believing it because they're comfortable where they're at and they'll continue to be negative. If you're around a negative person, or if you know a negative person, what you need to do is get away from them as soon as possible. And the unfortunate thing is many times that negative person could be coworkers or even family members. It doesn't mean you kick them to the curb. It just simply means that you regulate your time that you spend around them. Because if they can't bring anything of value to your life or those around you that you care for, then they shouldn't be around you. Nobody has that right to do that. You need to protect yourself. So how do you overcome negativity? There's many ways to do that. Uh, the first way is to stop negative thinking. Now, you may think that that's how do you know you got negative thinking? If the glass is half full, according to you, and that's the way that you think, then you're a negative thinker. You need to stop it. You need to not react so quickly to situations or to people. You need to listen with two ears and use the one mouth you have accordingly. God gave us two ears, one mouth. That means you do twice as much listening as you do talking. That's hard for some people. Some people, they talk and they are waiting for you to take a breath, and they're doing this while you're talking. They don't want to hear what you say. It's like my granny used to say, it says, when I talk to you, it seems like what I say goes in one ear and out the other. It doesn't pause, it doesn't stop, it doesn't take root. There are people like that. There have been times that I've been accused of doing that a time or two. And I've had to learn. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. That tasted bad. Uh, but you need to learn to stop negative thoughts before they start. You know when it's coming on. You know when a negative thought is coming on. You need to stop it. There's ways to do it. There's techniques and that. Second way is to beat the everyday blues. Don't let negativity be the centerpiece or the core of your day that starts. If you wake up in the morning and your feet hit the ground and you're just in a bad mood, stop it. Find something to be thankful for. Maybe go into prayer. There you go. That's an idea. Go into meditation. Start your day out with something positive to look forward to. Stop self-sabotaging yourself. Your own worst enemy that we talked about before. Stop listening to your own negative hype. That negative cheerleader that's going on in the background, that little devil over here. Thump that little bastard off. Stop complaining about stuff. Okay? If you're complaining about stuff, what you're telling people is you're not in control of anything, and the only thing that you can do is complain. If you don't like the situation, change it. If you don't like your job, if you're not happy there, change it. If you're not where you want to be in life, then change. Quit complaining. Nobody wants to hear it. People will ask me, and I say this in jest many times, says, "How are you doing?" I say, "I'm doing wonderful." And then I'll say, "You know what? Actually, I've got a lot of complaints, but I don't share them because nobody's going to listen anyway." And that'll usually get a chuckle out of people. But I say that not only for the dramatic effect, but because it's actually true. It's keeps me from complaining. Nobody wants to hear me complain. So don't do it. Dealing with disappointment. Everybody's got disappointments. Welcome to life. Be flexible. Build flexibility into your expectations so you can manage the disappointment. Nothing always goes according to plan. But more times than not, the plan that actually takes place is the right plan. Now, you may not realize it for maybe it could be an hour, 2 hours afterwards, or maybe it could be days or even weeks or months that you can look back and say, "Phew, it happened exactly the way that it was supposed to." Dealing with guilt. Do you carry any guilt that you're focusing on? There's a lot of people that feel guilt and they continue to feel guilt after guilt. Well, woe is me because I did this and I feel guilty. Break the pattern of feeling guilty or shame. Take a new view of it. What did you learn from it? Look, 1 second ago is written in the history book. It's written, it's time, nothing can be done about it. Regardless of how much you jump up and down, you complain, you cry, you bitch, you moan and groan, there's nothing that can be done about history. But you can have an impact on the future going forward. You can have an impact on what you do going forward. you can have control of that because that's what you do have control of over is what you do in the future. See the best in others. Nobody died and made you God and point and so you could point fingers at other people and what their shortcomings are. It's like the saying goes, if you point your finger, you've always got three of them pointing back at you. Think about it. What's the Bible say? Take the speck out of your own eye before you attempt to take the log out of others, or take the log out of your own eye before you attempt to take the speck out of others. See the best in others. People don't wake up in the morning looking for ways to piss you off. You're not that important to them. They're just waking up in the morning trying to deal with their day. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know the challenges, the hurt, the anguish that they're having to deal with. But you want to make it about you? Really? Stop that shit. Let it go. Move from viewing others with cynicism and suspicion to a more realistic and sympathetic understanding of people. Give people the benefit of the doubt. It's what you want from people, isn't it? If you say no, then you're a liar. Regrets. Have no regrets. Regrets are in the past. It's like I said, you can't do anything about them. Why focus on them? Learn from them and move forward. Stop wallowing in the past. They're, Start learning from your experiences. Move on. Easier said than done, I know. Improve your mood. If you're one of these people that's just in a sourpuss mood all the time, nobody wants to be around you. And if you're like that with your kids or your wife or your husband, and they don't want to be around you, then that should tell you something. Be somebody that people want to be around. Quit being an ass. Relax. Cast off the black moods. These things can be overcome with effort. And finally, no excuses. Don't take any excuses. Don't give any excuses. Because we all know what excuses are like. Armpits. Everybody's got two, and they usually stink. Or the other thing, be honest and truthful with yourself. Take responsibility for what you do, for what you've done. Deal with it so you can clean that slate and go forward. I've never been one to wallow in a lot of regret or being ashamed or that. I mean, I can, look, I can, people ask me how I was raised, and my response to that is, well, my childhood was worse than some, but better than most. I could probably sit down and match you point by point, my childhood, the childhood of my brother and sisters. But that does not define me. I don't wallow in that. I don't use it as an excuse to treat people bad. Maybe in the past, when I'm in my younger, unwiser years, I guess I did. But it's something that I learned. I've always been one to want to self-reflect, how to be better today than I was yesterday, and better tomorrow than I am today. And if I had anything that I could wish upon anybody, it would be the same thing, to adopt that way of doing it. Now, Where does this come down to? Where does this lead into me? Okay. There's very few things that look, we can all, with the directed effort, anybody can overcome anything, and you can do it by yourself. There may be times it's harder. There may be times that you have to experiment with different ways and not quit, and that can be frustrating. Maybe you need to get a book, read a book, how to be better, how to win friends, influence people. There you go. There's a great one. That's a blast from the past. Go to a seminar. Do something that's going to educate or do this up here between you 6 inches. But if you really want to get down to it, learn to use and understand what God has given you. And that's your subconscious mind. That's understanding how the conscious mind comes into play and how it relates to the subconscious mind, what the subconscious mind is for. And that's where I come in. That's where I can help people. But you have to want the help. You have to want change. I had a conversation with a client today about uh, their kids, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, something like that, young child. And they were having issues in school. And here's the thing about kids and parents out there. If you think that you can control your child, you're living in Never Never Land. You cannot control anybody. You can inspire them to be better. You can put parameters in place to hopefully guide them to be better. But if you tell a child to sit down and study, just because you told them, does that mean they're going to study? They have to have the want to. I want to. Because you can't push a wet noodle. But you can lead it all over the table. So I would tell the parents to instill the want to in their children, where they want to do something, where they want to succeed in life and do things better. We all, as parents, want our kids to do better than we did, to have a better life, to not experience the nonsense that maybe we grew up with. We all want that. But it takes stepping back away from things, people sometime, to allow things to marinate. And maybe they have to go through a period of 6 months, a year, 2 years, and then they come out on the other side. We all care about our children and who they hang around with, because we know that if you want to get in trouble, you get around kids that are getting in trouble. It doesn't make the child any better than anybody else. It's just that we know from experience that you don't need to be around these people. And if your kid is one of these that kind of follows suit, and somebody comes up with the idea of the day and they go, oh, okay, yeah, let's do that. And they're not thinking, because kids don't think, they react, they experience. And then they get hurt and they go, ooh, that wasn't a good idea, because pain's a good teacher. Pain. So you have to make that, you have to understand how to guide your children, when to let up on them, because you can win the battle and lose the war very easily. If you're one of these people that you're going to do what I tell you to do, you live under my roof, and that's the way things are going to be. I'm the boss. I'm the parent. And what does that get you? Inspire. That's what your job as a parent is to inspire. I wish I could say I was a great parent. I was a good parent, I think. I never wanted to tell my kids what to do. I always tried to give them parameters and leave them with make good choices. Make good choices. I believe in you. Make good choices. I can give you my opinion. You're going to do with it with what you want, but think about it. I hope I instilled that in. I mean, I don't think they do. My kids have turned out more better than I could anticipated. They're two of the greatest people that I know. Did I have anything to do with that? Maybe just a hair, maybe some of its DNA. I don't know. But as an instructor in the martial arts and having spent a lot of time with kids and even adults, I know how to teach. I know how to get the most out of people. I know how to get out of them things that they don't realize that's in them. But it was something that I learned how to do. It was something that I invested time into exploring and understanding. I had the desire to learn, the want to, the want to. So negativity, reflect on it, look at it. And if there's something that I can help you in this arena, in this area, then reach out to me. Reach out to me and let's talk. Do the free consultation. See where it goes. And if you think that everything that I say is a bunch of hooey, then move on. But if I say something and you're thinking about it 30 minutes from now, or you wake up at night and you're thinking about something, that one little thing that I've said during this 32 minutes here, then somebody's knocking at your back door to tell you to pay attention. Those are the people that I'm speaking to. Those of you who didn't even get this far and moved on because you saw something shiny somewhere else, I'm not talking to you. You're not ready for what I have. You're not ready to face what you need to face because everything has a season, a time. So if I can be of service to you, let me know. Otherwise, have a blessed day and make good choices. Bye.